So this poem is titled Archangel Michael. Creatures feed on pure archangel blood. With red-marked faces, they continue to indulge.
Could you speak up, please?
Yes, I'm sorry. Creatures feed on pure archangel blood. With red-marked faces, they continue to indulge. Their eyes shimmer with silver, and their tears flow from the stinging of guilt. A return of cataclysmic storms blackens the sky. The remnants of a charcoal stub left by a painter scrawled in a runic pattern over the sun. Dots of light stream through in liquid form, yet fail to burn the king of criers, the projector of death, the one true horned master. Michael's extended arm paints a streak of blue over charcoal-ridden sky. His hand full of black powder, the texture of velvet. His provocative dance enthralls his surveyor, while being entangled in black chains, the texture of velvet. A powerful warrior he is, a long-lasting creator, a swift and permanent destroyer. His arms remain in perfect formation, perched upright in feminine balance. The cherubs at his feet look up with concern, for Michael is weeping. Not tears of gold or tears of blood, tears of foreboding pain. For every time he repeats this story, he returns to the beginning, to the shattering of stained glass windows, pieces that pierce his pearlescent skin and form homes in his familiar flesh. He smiles with memory that cherubs have mere bird wings, while Archangel Michael has wings of glass, stained with stories from an untold past. This next poem is titled Undersea. Dark storm clouds loom above. What will happen to this bed of feathers? Will it dampen and cry into what it's made of? Serrated arms interlock, forming the plates I speak of. Sky, I feel sick. These plates of armor remind me of nothing but the doom-filled tick. Where I thought time might stop, it simply becomes forgotten, long and dry. Tie your heart to mine, for I am scared, really, really scared. This poem is titled Faint. Faint whispers in my ear, faint cries upon my bed, faint screams from the other room. Faint lives throughout this house, a drifting soul climbing up the floors of this infinitely tall building, whose skin shines with an opalescent aura and whose face reminds me of silence, silence that Faint knows too well. Faint often led me from one room to the other, always staying close to me, never letting me drift too far behind. She claimed she was afraid I would get lost, but I knew she had a fear of not being heard, her voice being ignored, because for her, distance was nothing but a barrier, the reason I might not be able to hear her voice, and so she always tried to close the gap. Tried to close every gap, until the feeling of lonely skin became unfamiliar, so that every cell in my body constantly reached out, having a fear of being left alone. That's why I only wear tight clothes now, because ever since Faint descended those basement stairs, I've needed something keeping my yearning skin company. This poem is titled Special. Actually, sorry. I'm gonna read it different. This poem is titled Midnight. The first degree burns on your wrists, transport me to the static under my pillow. My ears miss it, as my head rolls down to the floor, following the tilt of this bed, whose feeble legs were planted on unstable soil. A headless body never returns, not to its head, not to its maker, but a head without a heart always has a home. Our home is made of you and me, but the fire you kept under your bed never hurt me until I asked you to reach for something old, but what you brought back was a burn, which will never grow to new perfect skin and whose map-like lines will haunt me, because they don't show the map of a home or of a heart, but the map from where you are to under my pillow, because the static I hear is nothing but the lamentations of aching hands and burning homes. This last poem I will read is titled Special. She is God. She plants a warmth in my chest, as divine as the god's nectar. She spreads her arms and feels every inch of me. She has a magic. It's because she's special. From beside her, I see her special body, forming sweeping landscapes, ones of desert, forest, and sea. She says she's glad to have me, but she makes me glad to be me. She's a humble God because she's been hiding for so long. She hid her body, she hid her soul. She was told they weren't allowed in the garden, but now the garden only bears fruits for her, which she instantly gives to me. She reminds me of the moon with countless craters she never wants to show. I find them beautiful, like the beauty of Aphrodite, except her name is special. Thank you.
Hello, wow, lights. Thanks for being here. Welcome to Rock and Roll McDonald, the CASA Neofuturist play. Presented by the Bunco Babies. They chose that name themselves. I'm Miss Johnson. I'm the play director here at CASA. I'm also the creative writing teacher here at CASA. You may be wondering, what is Neofuturism? Well, I would love to tell you. Neofuturism is a type of abstract and experimental playwriting and theater. So over the summer, I had a one-woman show, fall play this year, and that's really a bummer. Fall play is so cool. So this is more of a winter play. It is February, but we are doing it. So we have some silly plays, we have some scary plays, we have some funny plays, some heartbreaking plays. Really excited to share these with you. Since November, these kids have been writing all their own original work, and they are so stoked, maybe a little nervous, to perform for you tonight. So thank you for being here.
You look right at me.
Hannah's gonna slay. So to show you how a Neofuturism show works, we have this wonderful menu of plays. We have 23 tonight, and you call out a number, audience. So I need you to call out number 19 for me. 19. Call out 19. Thank you, demo. Do. That's how you start a Neofuturist play. You hear a number, you call it out, you say the title, and you say go. You then perform said play, and when it's over, you say curtain. So when you hear curtain, audience, that will be your cue to yell out a number. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Got it. Great. Okay, so give me a number, please.
6.
14. Give me numbers. Keep it coming.
37.
I am going to go with 13. Hannah's play, more like Hannah's penguin sleigh. Am I right? Hannah's penguin sleigh. Am I right? Go. Okay. So fun fact about me, I really like penguins. Really like penguins. I know a little too much about them. OMG, I love penguins. Next slide. Today I'm going to share some iconic penguin facts with everyone. Penguin fact number 1 is a group of penguins in the water is called a raft, but on land they're called waddles, which is great. I really like that fact. Next slide. Penguin fact number 2.
because I don't want to do that to you. Next slide. Penguin fact number 3, penguins poop every 20 minutes. Next slide. There are these group of penguins called fairy penguins. They live in Australia. I love them so much. They're really small. They're blue. I think I'm colorblind. And so they were like dying at like alarming rates. Like foxes kept going and like eating them, and I was like, whoa, that's scary. And so there's only like 3 left, and then people were like, we gotta do something, they're all dying. And so then they got prairie dogs. Next slide. This is the prairie dog and the fairy penguin. Is it blue?
No.
Dang it! Next slide! Okay, we're gonna listen to a beautiful mating call of the penguins, and everyone's gonna love it.
Yeah. Is your volume up?
Gorgeous.
I love it.
Don't we love this? Love to hear it. I know. I know we do. I'm assuming you're looking at a lot of grass right now. Which, like, is cool. There's so much grass. Next slide. It's game time. Whoa, 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 whoa. I need a volunteer. Someone's hand is up way back there. Come on. What's your name?
Robert.
Hi, Robert. I'm Hannah.
Hi, Hannah, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Next slide. Okay, true or false? Penguins can become con women and like tell a man that like, hey, I'm gonna mate with you for life because I love you so much, and then in the middle of the night steal all his rocks, aka it's swim currency, and then run away. Can they do that? True or false?
That is very baller, and I would love to say true. So I'm gonna.
Let's find out. It's true. You're right.
Thank you, feminism.
Okay, that's the end of my slideshow, sadly, but that's only like 4% of the penguin facts I know, and if you ever have any penguin legends, sorry, I'm out of breath, you can go like straight to me, and I'll tell you all you want to know about it, and I love them so much. Okay, bye, curtain!
17.
Hannah, ASMR!
Come on, cuties. Come on stage. ASMR, go! subscribe button and smash that notification bell if you want to see more of our ASMR on the channel. And while you're down there, make sure to ring that notification bell so you never miss another sick element from the ASMR Kings. Okay, did everyone do that? And make sure to double check YouTube can sometimes unsubscribe people from our channel. Peace out from the ASMR Kings. Hurry!
Three murder mysteries! I don't know how you wrote me into this.
I'm sorry.
Murder mystery. Go. Welcome, one and all ages. This is a story especially for you. Now, how this is going to work is I'm going to ask you to pick from a series of choices. And with these choices, you can decide the fates of our dear characters here. Some of them will be dire, and some of them will prevail. Now, to introduce you to our great cast, first, Griffin. His pros are strong, fast, durable, and his cons, poops his pants when he gets scared. His fears are cherries, loneliness, and feet.
All real.
All real, audience. These are our real fears. Next, Miss Johnson. Pros are short, small, intimidating. Cons are anxious, drinks way too much water, bladder of a rabbit.
True.
Fears are whales, disappointment, and financial instability. Hannah. Flexible, friendly, good at confusing people. Cons are slow thinker, kind of a bimbo, and giggles way too much. Fears are darkness, spiders, and men. And last but not least, Melody. Pros are smart, kind of a kleptomaniac, and really good. Master of strategy. Cons are boring, hyperactive, and a little narcissistic. Fears are sports, people, and darkness. Now, audience, out of our fine characters here, would you like Griffin, Miss Johnson, Hannah, or Melody?
Melody!
You have selected Griffin! So, Griffin gets invited to this murder mystery party, and of course he has to go. So, he drives, and, he's just driving, and he ends up at this massive mansion. And then he looks at it for a while while he's walking through it. And then he's met with 3 different people he's never met before. And so he's just like, hello.
Hello.
He's like, hello. People I've never met.
People I've never met before.
I'm pretending never to have met you.
I know
Some of them get along. Some of them really don't. But Griffin pushes on
Pushing on.
to the dining room of the next room, of course.
I'm pretending like I'm in
And
a
so they all sit
dining
down for a nice good meal.
Like I'm in a dining. This isn't a real dining room, just so everyone knows. I'm pretending.
Until,
Yummy.
in a few seconds, while they're all eating, it's really
I'm
good,
pretending to eat.
the lights go out! And there's a scream! And it's Melody's dead body.
I'm pretending to be a dead body.
Oh, I can see again.
Should Griffin help, run, or leave?
Leave! Run!
Run, I'm hearing run. Okay, so Griffin decides to get up and run. Now quick audience. Dark hallway or flickering hallway?
Dark!
Dark hallway. So he's just like,
I can't see.
he turns right and he goes down the right hallway. And it's really dark.
I still
So he bumps into the left and right, and he just can't where he's going, so he goes left and right. And then he bumps into something.
Oh.
And it's Miss Johnson.
Okay.
Only Melody's dead.
Okay.
Well, it's Miss Johnson. Should they team up or should he go alone?
Can I see it?
Team up.
Team
Team
up!
up! I'm there, team up. So Griffin turns and he's like, we should really team up.
We should really.
We don't know where we're
We
going.
don't know where we're going.
And so they start walking. They walk together and they feel a little better because at least Griffin's not alone. It's still dark, but not alone.
What's that smell?
Until, ladies and gentlemen, they hear something behind them.
Did you hear that?
Should they turn around
No.
or should they run?
Turn
Turn around! So they turn around slowly and they see the menacing shadow of the IRS whale! Grumbling, where's my taxes? So, should Griffin leave, fight, or just stand there?
Fight!
Fight! And then so he walks up to the IRS whale and throws punch after punch
Stage punch! Stage punch!
until the IRS whale turns and waddles away. So they push on
Ridiculous.
Push on. That was crazy, wasn't it?
until they just don't know where they're going, audience, and so they just keep going.
Where are we going? I don't know. It's a
Should
long
they
hallway.
stop for refreshments or should they keep going? Refreshments? Okay,
Go
so
on here.
Miss Johnson needs a drink.
Miss Johnson turns and says, I really need a drink.
I really need a drink. Me too.
And so they head to the left and says, okay, let's just try to find a kitchen or something. And so they find a door. And they're just like, this is big enough to be a kitchen.
Yeah.
And out falls Hannah's body.
Oh my god, you're
Stage
dead.
fall!
And jumps on them. Hannah just jumps up and says,
Just
dope.
kidding, that was a fake stage fall.
oh my god.
Thank God she's not dead.
And so they continue on and they find
Wait,
the
can I
kitchen.
see? No, you can't see.
No, it's still flickering.
Oh, it's flickering?
Flickering?
You know, we've been going down this hallway for a minute now.
And so they keep going until they finally find a kitchen.
Oh, it's
But-
a kitchen. Whoa.
When they turn
It's a kitchen.
and they go in, audience, there's a man who's not wearing shoes.
Yes.
And so the only one unaffected is obviously Miss Johnson. So just go get some water, Miss Johnson.
Oh, it smells really bad.
Did you like put your pants or something?
And it's just so. Miss
I love
Johnson just
water.
looks at the man and just looks at Hannah, and looks at the man and just says, "Can you leave us alone for a second?"
Can you leave us alone for a second?
And he's just like, "Okay."
He respects boundaries.
Damn, a man respecting boundaries.
And he leaves. And so they decide to keep walking because they don't know where they're going in this place. It's just so big.
I don't even know where we're going.
I don't know,
Can the
but-
And
power
then
come
the
back
lights
on?
turn out again, so they're walking aimlessly.
I can't see.
Guys, I really have to pee.
Oh my god.
Queen.
And then
Griffin, you need
they hear something behind them.
Not again.
And it's familiar footsteps,
He's back.
but it's not alone. There are many, many
Many
footsteps.
footsteps. Oh, let me put my
There's not just one IRS whale. There's IRS men. Not wearing shoes. And then, to top it all off, audience, things start falling.
I'm really close to your
From-
phone right now.
They stop falling. Things start falling on him.
Oh my god, what's falling on
Does
this?
And then they
anyone
just-
have a depends?
No. And then they just start crawling.
No.
Oh,
There's spiders, audience.
There's spiders!
And then the lights go out.
Oh no, I thought they'd been out.
And then there's a scream. And unfortunately, Hannah's dead body is found.
Are you joking?
For real this time. For real this time. I'm so sorry
For real
about the last
this time.
time.
She's just
She's just
playing.
pretending.
She's just, oh, she's dead.
Now, audience, next
left minutes ago.
I agree.
So then they just walk, and they start running back, and then they run, and they don't know where they're going, so they make a left, they make a right, they make a left, and they make so many lefts and rights that they get disoriented.
I'm disoriented.
Oh no.
So, with sheer luck, audience, they finally find the dining room, then go to the waiting room, and then
The waiting room now.
go to the door, and just as they're about to reach the couch, Miss Johnson, car. And just as they're about to reach the car, Miss Johnson turns back and kills Griffin.
Stage fright.
Powerful women. She was the
Stage
murderer.
fright.
You see, audience, she was the murderer all along.
Stage curb stop.
And so, Miss Johnson gets in the car and drives away to be paid her money.
In my Lexus.
I know.
And
Awful here.
curtain, audience.
Thanks, Queen. Where did I put my water? I have it. Oh, you have it. Okay. Okay. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Funyuns 4. Go. I'm about to eat these as fast as possible. This is it, guys.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't know what to tell you.
Oh my god.
You're doing great, Melody.
This is terrible. Top of
Your
day,
jaw
Hannah?
hurting right now?
Want me to make some funny banter? How was your day, Hannah?
Really good.
Oh god.
I actually don't remember it, so that's real great.
Airplane food?
What's the deal with airplane?
It's really
It
bad.
the joke never lands. No one's ever laughed.
Airplane food, I hardly know her.
No one laughed again.
This is painful.
Get off the stage.
Shut up, Griffin.
You're doing great.
No, I can't pour this water that you have. My arm hurts.
We love you.
Yeah.
You're slaying so much.
Yum.
So
Yum.
slaying.
Can I?
You want one?
Thanks.
I want one.
No.
No.
Okay.
They're really stale.
You've been baby for a while.
No, they were in my car overnight.
Oh.
Ew. Don't ask, it's fine.
That's actually really
Time is now, place is here, you are who you are. How is Tic Tac, Melody?
TikTok's doing great. For those who don't know, TikTok is my car.
bright orange. Looks like a TikTok.
Bright orange Jeep Renegade, it looks like a TikTok. And she served me well, but these definitely sat in my car overnight.
They're really fat.
I know. Okay.
Take that drink, Queen. I hope Curtin! Disney Menagerie Slave Labor in Area 51 because of the Goofy movie.
I'm so sorry. No, don't be sorry, Griffin. That's important.
That is important.
Ow, I just tapped my fingers. There's so much hair on.
You like what you see?
Disney Menagerie Slave Labor at Area 51 because of the Goofy movie. Go!
Okay, you're here.
Did you guys bring your tinfoil hats?
No, I don't have mine.
This has been planned for months.
You guys are failing. Okay. We've all seen the Goofy movie, right?
Yes.
Right, Phil?
Yeah,
It's not very canonical.
it is canonical.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it
because
is.
Mickey Mouse's phone friends merch of yourselves to give to their sons?
He's an up-and-coming actor. Up-and-coming. He's waiting for his big break, which he gets on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is like a reality show, we think.
Like Kim Kardashian.
You like that? You like her?
Sure you know.
You know what? If it's a reality show, then do you think it's filmed on a soundstage?
Yeah, but where did they keep the soundstage?
I'm not sure. You know where Mickey Mouse is?
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse is in Brave, the movie Brave.
Anyone
starring
seen Brave?
Merida.
Ginger.
Ginger. And in Brave is also a wood carving of the Pizza Planet truck.
So where else is the Pizza Planet truck?
And all of the Disney movies,
All of
meaning
the
they're all
Disney
connected.
movies.
They're all connected.
They're all intersecting. Okay, so then Pizza Planet has a Lego set, right?
It does have a Lego set. You know what else Lego has? Lego
Lego architecture. Do you know what that means? Disney owns Lego, which owns the world. What else does Disney own? Simpsons, Family Guy, Animal Planet,
Which means they own animals.
Lifetime, ESPN, Hulu.
ESPN has like football and stuff.
Yeah.
You ever look at a football field?
It's kind of like
A
a
menagerie.
menagerie.
If you don't know what a menagerie is, it's basically a human zoo. People living in captivity and being observed. You know what?
What? Mm-hmm.
Crazy
Spit it
thought
out.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Sound stages.
Sound stages.
Have you ever really seen Mickey Mouse go past the clubhouse?
I haven't. No.
It's almost like he's in a tiny box, like a menagerie.
Menagerie. You know where else I have? What? You know ESPN?
What?
Sports. I've never seen those silly little guys outside of their little stadiums.
Really, you never really see like football players just on the street. You only really see them on like Instagram.
Like interviews. Instagram?
Instagram, Hannah.
But we were on Instagram.
You guys have Instagram?
Yeah.
I don't have an e-brace on. Are we in a menagerie? We're part of the universe, guys. This doesn't bode well for us. Does Disney own us? Think about it, please.
Maybe. It's scary.
Could some call response, please?
Okay, Hannah.
Yeah.
Disney also owns Marvel,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Which means they own Thanos, the big purple dude. In 2018, canonically in the, what is it called?
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
What is the movie called?
Infinity and Endgame?
In
No, it was
Endgame,
an Infinity War when he snapped.
Oh, he snaps and everything blips, right?
You're
Which
like,
means that-
that's only Marvel.
right.
But
if,
hear us out.
if everything's connected in Disney, then
Snap, canon, all Disney.
okay, and the snap means that half the population is that.
You might be saying, where's your proof, Hannah and Griffin? Well, it's right here. You know what Disney shows were canceled in 2018? Jesse!
You probably don't know what that is because most of you are adults.
And Star Wars Rebels, which none of you know what it is because no one knows that show.
So we're thinking characters in those shows got blipped, right? And that's why they couldn't have the show anymore. So they canceled those shows, and Jessie actually got rebooted into a different show called Bunked.
But you
Not
never
starring
see
Jessie.
Jessie.
She's not in the show because she was blipped.
Flipped. Mm-hmm.
Well, if they're in these menageries, where
Yeah.
do you think they would be housed at?
Gee, call back.
Call back.
I think maybe Area 51. You ever been in there?
No, I've never been in there. Have you guys been in there?
No. I've
Well,
never been in there.
recently, I looked up Disney Area 51, and it came up with an Area. It came up with an Area 51 documentary called The CIA Secret, meaning that they're trying to cover up the fact that there are menageries in Area 51.
Cover up.
We did a lot of research for this. We probably shouldn't have.
It took like 4 hours. Okay, so like, let's say they run out of room in Area 51. It's only such a small place.
Right.
Where would they go?
Well, you know, like Star Wars is owned by Disney. Marvel is owned by Disney.
Yeah.
Some of those things take place in space.
Yeah, space.
Space.
So maybe they keep them in space?
Right. I mean, like
They keep them in space. I'm addressing you.
we've seen. We've seen Zendaya in a space movie called Dune. Have we seen her since then?
No.
I
She's in
haven't.
space. She's in space.
She's in space. You ever see Space Jam? When's the last time you've seen LeBron James?
You ever see Scooby-Doo Moon Monster Madness? Probably not, because I have autism and that's why I watched it. Matt Damon in The Martian. Someone else in The Martian, I should have Googled his name, still
Don't
I
know.
haven't done it. But he's in The Martian and he's also in Ant-Man, which is a Marvel movie owned by Disney.
By Disney. And
guys
you know
think
what
he
else?
sucks?
You know what else he was recently in? Thor: Love and Thunder in space. Did he ever come back?
He's still there. It's a thing, guys. You have to help.
Lego Star Wars.
Lego Star Wars. Star Wars is owned by Disney. Lego is owned by Disney. You know what else Lego owns?
Lord of the Rings.
Lego has Lord of the Rings sets, which means that canonically, Middle Earth, the setting in Lord of the Rings, exists
speaking facts.
inside of Disney. Middle Earth, where does that term come from, Hannah?
Paganism.
Yes, paganism is at the top of most religions, like they branch off
Judaism.
from there.
Christianity.
Christianity, Islam,
Other ones.
which means Disney owns religions, guys.
All of them.
All of them.
Hey, Griffin, you ever hear that theory that Walt Disney frozen head under the parks?
You guys
and
heard
that's
about
why
that?
they made the movie
Yeah.
Frozen. So they, when you Googled Walt Disney Frozen, it wouldn't come up with Frozen head, but on an Elsa and a little silly little Olaf.
Do you think they're actually gonna unfreeze his head one day? Do you guys think that?
Do you think they'd unfreeze his head?
Yeah, for sure.
Most likely.
Probably.
Well,
Wait. So they own religion.
Right. And Walt Disney's gonna have a second coming.
And Walt Disney's the head of Disney, and Disney owns.
Is Walt Disney God, Hannah?
I think Walt Disney might be tall.
Hannah. Walt Disney is God.
And if
There
Walt
will be a second coming. Be ready.
Disney's gonna be a
Be ready, guys.
Walt Disney.
Get out! Curtain!
The truth is out there.
15.
Five.
I am a writer. Anything you do or say will be used in my story.
My tiny stool.
Time is now, place is here.
Yeah.
I'm a writer. Anything you say or do may be used in my story. Go. Someone knock. Someone get that. I'm a writer. I've written stories since I was a little girl. Well, I didn't really share them with my family sometimes, so not really known about that, so that's a fun fact about me. I grew up in what my parents call, hi Mom, a Disney bubble. I was rarely exposed to really nasty stuff in the world, and if you don't know what a Disney bubble, that's basically it. How does this relate to my writing as a child? We'll get there in about a second. My world really only consisted of a few things. My friends, my parents, my family, softball, and writing. Writing was my escape. Yeah. The other day I found an old journal. Well, not the other day. When I wrote this, it was a couple months ago when I had to do this. A couple months ago, I was looking through my old drawers and I found an old journal that I was writing, and it had a lot of stuff in it. And I mean a lot. When I was 11 and 12, I was figuring myself out. I had a lot of stuff to figure out. And there was a place where I couldn't go to be myself. But it wasn't home, it was church sometimes. I was not a happy kid. It was hard. So I would write, and when I wrote, what I wrote in there was, I hate everything. That was what was written. Writing did help me process that. Helped me process a lot of things. But it also became a method of escape. Major escape. Because sitting down, I would look at people all around me and make up little tiny stories about everyone. I made up stories about Gabby, Miss Johnson, the two couples sitting right there. Hi. Hi, nice to meet you. I made up stories about everyone and everything because I couldn't handle reality. writing would help me breathe because my anxiety, which I grew up with, wouldn't let me do that. I couldn't even let a person who I really like know how I felt because I was afraid of rejection so much. I hid from the world with writing. I hid from it. But when I came to CASA, I found people who are still helping me to this day come out of the little tiny Disney bubble that I grew up in and put me into the real world. And I realized I have been writing my story in a watered down version, and the watered down version is what everyone wants to hear. Not anymore. I refuse to write what people want me to write. Now I write the truth and what is real, and it feels like this. I feel home. Curtains.
The mask.
Are we ready? The mask, go.
Type of stuff. Go. I think I've always wanted the idea of love. You know, the type of stuff that makes you feel like you're the only girl in the world. The type of stuff that people look at you and go, oh, that's so cute, I want that. But then I realize I can't. Because when I look at that type of stuff, I've always gotten that. Not because people loved me, but because they used me. See, the type of stuff is just what makes my head spin. The idea in my head comes every single time I see a man, want a man. You know, I have to remind myself I will never get that. The type of stuff that I get is the hit it and quit it type love. The type of stuff that they say they love you and that they will always be there for you, but they won't. You know what's stupid? When it's the type of stuff you get used to getting. The idea of you being this object that can be used. And when you use this object enough, you get discarded, returned for a new, better object. The type of stuff where you are no longer a person, but you are a desire machine. I guess that's why my name is fitting now. Desiree is full of desire. What a load of curtain.
Nine! 2 Funyuns, 2 serious.
Yeah, hold for tech. Maybe it'll land this time.
What's the deal with airplane food? No one's laughing, please, I'm begging.
Everybody applause, Hannah.
Oh, yes! Yes!
Give me 1 second. Hold for tech.
Neofuturism, I hardly know. I only have like 2 jokes. I'm so sorry.
Am I right?
Am I right?
Okay. What is it? 2 Funyuns, 2 serious. Go. And this is why we had to hold for tech. Fun fact, this is my dinner.
Slash them.
I know. Kellen's gonna kill me. No, we'll get it later. So, what did everybody have for dinner?
I had Funyuns.
Chinese food.
Cool. And
Burger.
literally anybody else. Cool.
Fries and chips.
Cool. I love that for you.
How cold is it?
It's not cold. It's not like I was sitting in a fridge.
No, it's in my desk drawer.
Hey.
It's warm in there.
It's not warm, but
But it's
it's
good.
Is it manageable?
Is
Yeah.
it chilly?
Is it lukewarm?
Are you having Funyuns
I'm-
something?
I'm having so much fun.
Are you ready, kid?
I'm having so much fun. It's almost too serious.
Ooh!
No.
Guys, so what's the deal with airplane? Okay.
I'm sorry.
What happened in
I'm gonna
Two
take, like-
Funyuns Too Furious?
No, we liked 2 Funyuns, 2 serious better. Because it didn't have an F in the second one. These jokes are only funny to me.
Tokyo Drift.
You know, that's just how it be. Okay, I'm gonna take like 1 more bite. They're in!
22.
Somebody help me move. I will help you.
I will. Aww.
Sit.
But.
It's my place!
Oh yeah.
Alright, so this is Quiz Me Baby one more time. So, I need you guys to open up your phones. Yes, you can use your phones during a show. You guys are gonna go to Blookit.com. What is Blookit? Blookit is literally just Kahoot on, I cannot say that word. It is Kahoot, but like funner. I hope you guys like it.
More entertaining.
It's Blookit.com.
Play.blookit.com.
Play.blookit.com. Or you go to Blookit.com and there's a button that says join a game. Click that.
And you're gonna enter in the super groovy code.
I got the online coupon.
Take my phone test.
I think
This is the code. Just put it in and then put in your name. Put in a random person's name. I don't care. You're not playing for prizes. This is just for fun. And I like to play little experiments.
Oh, it says it can't. Where are you? Oh, turn off the Wi-Fi.
Airplane food! Airplane food! So when other people do it, it's funny. But when I do it, it's
Wow, that's
You spelled it wrong.
I'm very bad with these.
All right, we're gonna get started.
You have to be 18 years or older to go on the site.
I am not on the right site. You are not.
I'm just gonna give up.
have fun, react out loud. And I'm being so serious about that.
Why did you make that question?
I didn't make new questions. These are the ones Melanie and Miss Palmer and multiple people in my English class made.
I only have to consider certain ones.
Ridiculous.
No one.
Ridiculous.
I took out the one deer question, Millie. The deer question. I replaced it with something else Jonah gave me. Jonah and Miss Palmer. No.
Ridiculous.
And all of my students.
That seems like a dance.
What's your dad's question, Gabby?
Yeah. What's the code again?
Were babies born? That's a question?
Yeah. People.
No, because they're all wrong answers.
No! Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Play dot. Play dot.
No!
I saw that.
You!
Yeah!
I hate you!
God.
Not figuring out technology.
Yeah!
Okay. Got it.
I'm telling you, I think I
Whoever the owl is kind of in the lead. No, now it's the cat and the dog. Now it's the dog. Ah! No! Y'all are so bad at this. You just gotta answer the questions correctly. No! Who is that? Who is the parent? Who is the parent? This is so funny for me.
No, please. No, please. No, please.
No! Yes! This is level 1! This is no! I'm so proud of myself.
Did you win?
Yes. I don't know what happened. That's unfair. Okay. Since this is not working, raise your hand if it says you got third. Raise your hand if it says you got second. Raise your hand if it says you got first. Our whole cast, not Curtain! You got first. I'll see that's right. Great. Board assist. No.
One job.
10.
12.
7.
12. 12.
7.
This is a serious matter, please. Wah-wah pedal! Tiny punches! Dingo neck! Rubbery middle! Sky bike! Sliceable soup! Tongue dip! Corndle! Blubberboss! Disney Cannon Menagerie! Little green men! Voice from the pile! Sink water! Pile of flesh in the corner! Idiot block! Brother milk! Precocious 8th grader! Fun little fire ladder! Snail speed! Poison the ghost! Baby brow! Dimmadome Ellen! Flat Stanley Tucci! Big dog! It's a good one! Why are you serious? Please. Gargling marbles! Milton's in a trench coat. Tim the Stalker! The milk play. Sad grandma! That's a good one, I like that one. It is a good one. Perpendicular shrimp! Swamp shark! Autism betrayal! That's a good one. I like that one. Who liked that one? Yeah. Too many fish! IRS whales! I know, it's spooky, but I think it's a good one.
Trigger warning.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Egg mom! Not coffee. Yellow egg. Neo-funeral. Skinny white boy! It's good, but I don't get why you're laughing. This is serious. Fiddle for McGuckin. Rent machine! Nose machine. Scoops in the sink. Dawson and the Gay Pirates. I like that one. I know, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Minivan Fran! Griffin Little! Curtain! Numbers! I hate you, I love you. Go. I hate you. I hate you because you have done things I'll never forgive you for, and you know it. You are racked with constant guilt, stuck in the whirlwind of the aftermath, tossed around mercilessly with the ruthless emotions raging in you. I love you. I love you because you have grown, and you have learned from your mistakes. You have learned how to cope with your emotions, how to keep them from taking advantage of you. You have learned how to apologize, and maybe you aren't always perfect, but that's okay. Nobody is. I hate you. I hate you because you don't deserve to be where you are in your life. You don't deserve what you have. You haven't earned it. Someone else out there is just as good as you, if not better than you, and you've ruthlessly knocked them down, taking this position from them. I love you. I love you because someone else loves you, and maybe that's enough. Maybe that means you deserve love. Maybe that means you deserve a chance of happiness. I hate you. I hate you because you are manipulative, and you are cruel with the poison dripping from your throat. That are coils coiling around your lungs, your throat. There are things you try and fail to control. And you cannot justify those wrongs no matter how hard you struggle. I love you. I love you because you are me, and you are trying. And I refuse to give up on you. I refuse to give up on myself. Curtain. Yahtzee time! Bam, 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 bam! Go! Okay, so who here has heard of Yahtzee? Can't see you, so I hope that's a lot. So basically the premise is you have to get 5 of the same dice in a row, and, sorry, it's real stuck in there. And then if they're all the same, then it's a Yahtzee, and we're gonna roll until we get one. Did you see how I got down my physical therapy? Okay, let's go. 2 5s. Woo! Let's build up that hype. Another 5. Neither of those were 5s. Oh. You only have 3 rolls, so. Woo! None of those are the same. We're gonna stick with 5s. I love 5s. One of those was a 5.
Okay.
None of those are 5s. They were all 3s. Okay, let's get the hype back in here. 2 2s, am I right? Yay! Okay. Yay! 2 2s, am I right? Whoa. This is so crazy. What's everyone's? Oh, 3 4s. Okay.
Alright.
Okay. What's everyone's lucky number? Just tell me. 6! 3! I think someone said 3 because we have 2 3s. Woo! And no 3s. And no 3s. Yay. 2 6s. Okay. Oh, another 6. It's more aggressive with the dice. Yay. 3 3s! Does anyone know where to buy like weighted dice? Or is that like not an option? 2 3s.
3 are your lucky number tonight.
Woo! 2 1. Woo! Let's get the. I have good feelings for this one. Wish it luck. Everyone go like this. 2 6s. One more 6. We're gonna play a game called Close Our Eyes. Is everyone's eyes closed?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I'm close.
Yahtzee!
Someone outside waiting.
17!
15.
I'm stealing this. I hope that's okay. Oh, good. Put this over.
Make sure you're in your lights.
Hey. Hello. Lord, go. Also known as, I had no idea what else to name this, and that was the prompt. Yeah. So, have y'all watched Gravity Falls?
No. I didn't.
No? Yeah, nay?
Yay.
Great.
No.
So, I'm going to ramble about the plot of the show because it's amazing and y'all should watch it. So,
Spoilers.
yeah, immense spoilers. I'm going to spoil like the entire plot of the show.
Will it be the
And, like,
entire plot?
The big reveal in season 2. So, starting out, New Jersey, 19-something or other, 70s, 80s probably.
That's so true.
Two brothers running around the beach, Stan Lee and Stan Ford. Stan Lee, we were referring to as
Stanford, I hardly know her.
Stan Lee, we're referring to as Stan. Stan Ford, we're referring to as Ford, for simplicity's sake. Until like halfway through this rant where I start to referring to one of them as Stanford, but you know,
Okay.
shenanigans.
Let's
We'll
go
get
for
to
it.
that part. So, two brothers running around the beach. They have dreams of adventure and traveling the world.
Yeah.
And being bros on a boat, sailing the ocean blue
I want to
forever.
be bros on a boat.
Oh, we should totally run a boat.
Bros on a boat. Bros on a
Bros on a
boat.
boat.
Bros on a boat.
Bros on a boat.
Bro, your boat.
And get distracted. Back to the plot of the film. So, time goes on. They go from like elementary school to high school. They're in high school now. Stanford is really smart. He makes a perpetual
Me.
motion machine that gets him into like the best college in the world. Stan Lee.
Stanford?
I don't actually remember what college he gets into.
Oh, I bet it was Stanford.
But like it's a really good school. So like when Stan Lee comes by and accidentally, I think it was legitimately an accident, but he was mad at him, bashes the table and it breaks.
Sounds like Stanley needs to go to therapy.
I agree.
Yeah, the man needs some therapy after
Me
50
too.
years.
Same.
He gets run out of every state in the country. Well, 36 of the 50.
Yeah,
That's a lot of states to get run out.
too many. I haven't been to that many.
Yeah, no, neither have I. Okay, so the perpetual motion machine ain't moving.
14 left.
That's the point of a perpetual motion machine. It don't stop moving.
Right.
So Stanford doesn't get into school. Stan Lee gets kicked out of the house for costing the family a fortune, essentially.
Kind of
'cause
fair.
Stanford's a genius.
I
He
will
would have
agree.
made bank. Putting the hat on because we're getting to that part. So Stan Lee runs around the country and becomes this massive con man that gets run out of, like I said, 36 of the 50 states.
Therapy, am I right?
Yeah,
He needs it.
he does.
Me too.
So time goes on, he's run out of these states, and eventually he gets a postcard from his brother Stanford saying, "Hey, come to Oregon in the middle of the woods. I have something I
He
can give
lives in
you."
Oregon. It's his birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
Tyler.
birthday!
Hey, happy birthday,
That's her
Tyler.
black brother.
No, it
Does she
isn't.
look- Oh. Wrong one. She has a black brother. Different brother. Continue.
Cool.
Oh, it's Jacob.
Jacob, all right, cool. Jacob, Tyler, woo, happy birthday to Tyler. So, Ford has built this massive compound in the woods that essentially no one has found. Stanley's first interaction with his brother is nearly getting shot by a crossbow, so that's fun. So essentially, Stanford is like, here, I've documented all of my life's work in these books, but this demon dude has possessed me and essentially convinced me to build this massive portal in my basement, but if it ever turns on, it's the end of the world. So he's like, here, take one of these books with the instructions to turn it on and go as far away as you can. Picture being told to never see your brother again the first time you see him in 15 years.
That sucks for him.
Yeah.
You'd be mad.
Therapy.
The portal turns on, and Stanley accidentally pushes Stanford into the portal.
Aggravated assault.
Accidentally.
Premeditated murder.
That's what I'm thinking. Therapy.
Okay. So Stan Lee takes over Stanford's shack in the woods and turns it into a sham of a tourist trap using the remnants of the insane technology that Stanford left behind. Smash cut to 15-ish, probably more like 20-something years later.
That's
Back
older
to
than
the
me.
future.
Yeah. Two siblings, Dipper and Mabel, from California, are shipped up to Oregon.
Have a pig?
Waddles.
Yes, one of them does have a pig. Mabel's pig is named Waddles. Pig is amazing.
Like a group of penguins. Call back.
Yes. Hey, call back. Group of penguins, except it's not a group of penguins, it's a pig. So, two brothers, brother and sister, are shipped off to Oregon to
They're
spend the
also
summer.
twins.
Yes, they are twins, with
Fun fact.
their great uncle Stan. Dipper finds this book in the woods No idea what it is. It happens to be one of the books that Stanford gave Stanley. Stanley, now going by Stanford, because he took over his brother's identity in order to keep up. So in order for people not to question where he went.
Con man.
Con man, also con man, because he has no government records, because nobody cares about him, nobody knows who he is, where he is, because he's been gone out for 36 days. It actually is sad. Like, looking back on Stan's story is really sad. I'm rambling now. So, half of the first season is just them going on adventures, but there's this underlying mystery of Stan just goes into the basement every now and then. It's revealed to be that he's working on turning back on the portal in order to bring his brother back. He turns it on eventually, and brother comes back through and is mad. Because turning the portal on unleashed the possibility for the demon guy that possessed him the first time to come through to the real world and cause havoc.
This is a kid's show.
Yes, this is a kid's show. This was aimed at like 7 to 12. The Disney. Oh God, Disney. This is incredible. I love this. So, lo and behold, what Stanford thought would happen occurs. They shut the portal down, but this little rift is left, so they sealed it in a snow globe. So they sealed it in a snow globe. Snow globe, shatters. Chaos breaks loose.
Oh no.
Yeah, red lights. 'Cause bad stuff's about to happen. All these demons come busting through from other dimensions, turning people to stone, making things fly, making them, it's the apocalypse. But eventually the apocalypse is over because they find a way to trap the demon inside Stanley's mind. Because Stanley and Stanford are identical twins, and the demon wants to get into Stanford's mind. So Stanley and Stanford switch clothes.
These people are really into it.
So Stanley and Stanford switch clothes. So the demon goes into Stanley's head, thinking it's Stanford's head, and they're able to erase Stanley's memory, hopefully erasing the demon from existence forever. Because Stanford, during his 15-odd years in the multiverse, gets a steel plate.
Multiverse?
Yeah.
No.
Marvel! It's the menagerie!
No one's safe.
No one is safe. Well, eventually it all ends up well and good. Stan Lee gets his memory back after intense scrapbook therapy. Yeah,
I did that. I actually did that one.
Yeah, it essentially gives him all his memories back from looking at all the pictures from what they did all summer.
This is only one summer?
This is all one summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even go outside my house in the summer.
Me.
There's no reason to.
They got forced to go to the woods in Oregon by their parents. So all in all ends up well, but there is this little leftover mystery of if you reverse what Bill Cipher says, the demon, as he's being erased, it's essentially him praying to the multiverse gods that he'll be able to come back. Bum, bum,
Second coming.
What?
Second coming.
It all comes back.
He is Bill Cipher.
Curtain!
We're blocking a fire hazard, guys.
Not easy.
Don't tell anyone.
Nobody have a fire.
Sorry, I meant to censor these. I am so afraid.
No spin
Queen.
move or
Next one, by Griffin Kent. Naked and Afraid is an American reality series airing on the Discovery Channel. More like Discovering Our Bodies channel, am I right? But each episode starts with two survivalists. Yeah, okay, regular people. And they're strangers. They get dropped off in some forest naked, okay, with one special item, like a flamethrower or a machete. Okay. Who decided this is what we wanted to watch on TV? Was it you guys?
No.
I thought Discovery Channel was like penguins and lions and their lives. Who wants to see a girl with her boobs out wielding a flamethrower? Miss Johnson. Thank you. Then they meet, they get to know each other, they build shelter, find water, and food. As of the end of the last season, there's 188 episodes. That's so many. How many people in the U.S. want to live in a forest with some random person? Silence fills the room. What if they're a creep? 14 seasons! 60 minutes an episode, that's a lot of time. And there's a spin-off show. It's called Naked and Afraid XL. Extra large! Okay, the camera crew is not allowed to intervene unless they are obviously dying, which is that legal? One cast member had to beg for an emergency tampon. Is that part allowed either? At night, the camera crew just leaves. They have like their own glamping situation going on. And if something is wrong, like if they get attacked by a bear and mauled, they have to use a whistle to whistle at this camp far away to try to get their attention to send help. That's real. Please help, this show is driving me insane. What is going on? Cast members have a primitive survival rating where the people working on the show rate their survival fitness. And they get weighed before and after each episode. Why? What does the caloric intake have to do with them surviving and being naked? Like what? What is that? Someone call my therapist, his name is Matt. I hope this is almost over. I'm serious, call Matt. In season 10, they were in the tundra, and they also went to an African kill zone. Is that legal or ethical? My friend, Mike Hale, works for New York Times, and he once wrote an article saying, "This looks real, I think it's real, that's dangerous, people might die. Don't do that." Naked and Afraid was the #1 supported show by men, men, several years in a row. That makes sense. Contestants ended up very close to lion, elephant, and crocodile exhibits, which is like, exhibits? Habitats. That's like really dangerous. People can die. Volume up. Volume is up. Okay. Thank you. My name is Griffin Kent. Thank you for Matt for getting me through this. Matt? I don't know who this is. His name is Keith England. I found him on change.org. He wants to be on the show, so let's help him out, everybody. The link is right there. Credits. Griffin Kent researcher, Griffin Kent writer, Matt Brown, my therapist. Did you think he would look like this? No, you didn't.
I think he was Australian.
Griffin Kent presenter. The gift is not going to work. I'm so sorry. Courage!
Assist with the board.
Numbers.
We have 1, 6, 10, 11, 12, 15, 11, curtain call.
that was such a bright light.
Yeah, it's really bright. Here, are we all? Okay.
You guys need to take pictures.
Six traps. Yes, will someone move the ball?
Nope.
Me and Gabby don't.
I at least need to do it once in the show. You're good.
Again, blocking up fire escape. Alright, we're ready.
My friend, go. I've done some things. I've lived a fraction of life. But, like everybody else, I don't think I deserve this. You know, let me tell you, friend. I don't like to go home. Because if I go home, I can't focus. And if I can't focus, I get yelled at. And if I get yelled at, I can't focus. It's kind of like a loop. You feel me? But then, along the line, I found my safe place. A place where I can do my work and focus and have fun. And it was school. My old school, or old district at this point, I found people who cherished me. Or so I thought. I would give them anything they needed. If they needed an organ, a heart, or even just a shoulder to cry on, I'd always be there. But along the way, I developed this habit. Not a good one, but a habit. I developed a habit that I am disposable. It's like a banana peel. I will be here, like I just said, for whatever you need. But say, in this habit, if you don't need me, for any reason, if I get boring, if I get annoying, if I make you choose between me and something else or someone else, I won't let you choose me. Because I'm disposable. That was all until I came to CASA. And I found my real family, my real friends. People that make me feel like I don't need to give anything to them. Not my heart, not my soul, not my organs, not even my shoulder. Every day. I can be just me. I don't have to be a therapist. I could just be a friend. But always, there's always a little whisper in the back of my mind when I look at them. And I see how they look at me, like they don't expect anything from me. A little whisper. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve them. You are disposable. Curtain.
You are perfect. Can I have a board assist, please? Thank you, Gabby. Wonderful job.
You are perfect. Go. So, we all have things we don't like about ourselves, right? Maybe it's something about your looks, something about your personality, or something that you've done to someone in the past that you regret. I have a few written down on these pieces of paper, but to every negative thought, to every insecurity, to every flaw, to every person out there who has felt unsatisfied with themselves, I have a message for you. Why? Why? Why do we tell ourselves these things? Why do we judge ourselves and put ourselves down more than anyone else? Oh my God, what do I have to do? What do any of us have to do to just be who we are without fear? You are perfect. Am I good enough? Are we good enough? Have we swallowed back our thoughts and feelings and opinions and beliefs enough to be accepted into this sick, twisted world? Are the people in our lives who have shamed us, who have judged us, who have doubted us, who have put us down, who have told us that we are worthless, that we are nothing, that we will never be good enough, are they ever going to realize that the way they take out all their own self-hatred on others is only going to give them more to hate about themselves? Even though you've been bruised, bashed, and beaten, even though you have wounds and scars that may never go away, you are perfect. Please, please, don't let this world of darkness snuff out your beautiful light. Every day,
As you struggle through the pain, the hell this world may put you through, remember that you are an extraordinary, beautiful, incredible creation that does not deserve to feel like they need to put themselves down to please everyone else. Those people who have doubted you and who have judged you, they cannot change you. They cannot tell you who you should or shouldn't be. So don't let the world convince you that you can't live your life as the person you truly are, because this is your life. And you are perfect. Curtain.
That one gets me every time. Can I have a board assist, please?
Okay.
Thank you, Beth.
I like board assisting.
All right, watch your step.
Okay.
17!
15.
17!
17.
Thank you for the easiest college essay topic ever.
Wonders!
Do you want help?
From you. Grab your tissues, folks. This is a tearjerker. We're not entirely prepared. Like always. Hope for tech. Might be. It is B. It might be wholeheartedly. Whew. You guys got your tissues? Okay. Nope. Thank you for the easiest college essay topic ever. Go. How alive are you when you don't know when you're going to die? It's simple for you to say, well, I'm alive, I don't know when I'm going to die, but for me, none of you know this, I think. But my life isn't guaranteed. I'm not going to be an old dude in the nursing home playing blackjack. I don't even know. I think that's when people play in nursing homes, blackjack. I might not even make it to my 30s. I might not even make it till next year. It's strange, really. I don't know how to put this, but I'm disabled. That was easier than I thought. Okay. You can't tell, can you? Can you? Silence. You look at me and you're like, he seems okay, he's pretty healthy, there's nothing out of the ordinary. He's not confined to a wheelchair. He can talk, he can walk, but I have multiple sclerosis. It's a neurological disease and it affects my everyday life. It's really hard to talk to other people about it because the first thing they say is, well, at least you're not really disabled, at least you're not dying from cancer. But I am dying and they don't know that. My brain is slowly deteriorating, which means at one point, I don't know when, but at one point, my brain might deteriorate to the point that it stops receiving messages from my body. Or I could go into remission, which you know is a miracle because there's no cure. I have to live every day pretending everything's all right. Pretending that, oh, tomorrow's gonna be a better day. No pain, no new symptom. I have to pretend because that's the only way that I'll be able to be okay. Pretending. I thought that that was something I would grow out of when I was a child. Imagining, playing dress up, pretending I'm a doctor. Time for your checkup. It didn't stop, it just matured. Now, pretending is telling people my pain is not that bad, telling people I'm fine to do this task for you. It's a good day for me. It's not, I'm struggling. I can't feel my legs most of the time, but I'm pretending. I could die right now. That's me exaggerating, but not entirely. I might not wake up tomorrow. It's almost funny. Can you imagine I go to sleep healthy enough as a disabled person, and I don't wake up tomorrow? I would be laughing in my grave. It's hard to talk about this. I know you're looking at me like, maybe you should see a therapist. You should talk to someone. I have a therapist. Hey, Matt. I could wake up tomorrow and forget how to swallow food. Did you know that? That's something I battle with every day. I might wake up tomorrow and my legs might not work. Then people won't be trying to dismiss my disability. Then you'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you must feel terrible, you can't do anything, you're in a wheelchair. But for now, it's just, well, at least this and well, at least that. Well, at least nothing. Sometimes I forget I'm disabled, and then I wake up and one of my eyes doesn't blink, and I have to get another MRI just to tell me that there are more scars on my brain than the last time. It's not easy. Me getting to go to hospitals and missing days of school, it's not easy taking in a medication and infusion that I don't even know if it works. The doctors don't know if it works. It's all experimental. It's not easy. Who do I talk to when I'm scared my life could end? Who do I talk to when I can't taste anything, when my taste is gone for 2 months? That happened. I lost 12 pounds. It's not something to take lightly. I'm disabled and I'm working on acceptance. Thank you, Matt. We're working on acceptance. I have trouble accepting most things in my life, but for this I need to accept my disability. I need to accept that things will not always be as good as it is now. Whatever my life is right now, they consider it good because they caught it early. But how do you end something before it progresses if you don't know what happened? You know, when I was first diagnosed, I spent 2 weeks in the hospital. I got 3 MRIs. They pried my braces off my teeth because the first MRI did not work. I got a lumbar puncture. My mom wasn't even there 80% of the time. I was 13. When the doctors finally came in and they said it's multiple sclerosis, my mom turned to me and said, well, see, you shouldn't have been eating all those ramen noodles. That's what she said to me. She said it was my fault. My fault. What did I do? There's no amount of hot Cheetos, processed foods, or GMOs that I could have eaten to make this my fault, but somehow it is my fault. But I guess it's okay because now I have something fun to write about for my college essays because, you know, I didn't want to write about how bad my dad treated me my entire life or how anytime I had a symptom of my disability before I knew I was disabled, my mom told me I was a hypochondriac. I really didn't want to write about that, so I'm glad. I'm glad I'm disabled. I'm glad that I could not wake up tomorrow because guess what? Colleges are going to eat me up. But who knows if my brain is even going to work when it's time for me to go to college. I held back tears writing this. I'm not doing a very good job of accepting it. I was diagnosed when I was 13 and I'm still sitting here asking myself, why did this happen to me? Why is it my fault? Why am I in pain? Why is it hard for me to get out of bed most days? So I ask you again, how alive are you when you don't know when you're going to die? Curtain.
15! Out of my throat comes a bloodthirsty howl, which I call a song. Out of my throat comes a bloodthirsty howl, which I call a song. Go. The world is on fire. The world is on fire, and it hurts. The fire burns around me. The fire burns around you. The fire burns as it jumps and chokes more and more as it finds new pockets of fuel. People are dying from the fire. People are dying as the smoke fills their lungs, skulls, thoughts, timelines. It burns like the setting sun as time passes us by. The hues feel familiar, but there's no time to take it all in. It burns like the deepest depths of the sea, a pressure on all of us, a weight we can't lift as it sinks lower and lower, harder and harder, faster and faster. We can't do anything. Those who could do something don't care, and those who care can't do anything. We missed our chance. We are all burning. It's too late. The fires rage on. We sit idly by and let it burn. It burns brighter than any sign we've ever seen. It's a beautiful cacophony of noise and chaos. We've seen it before, but never like this. Never so close. We could reach out, touch it, scalding our fingertips, sending a shiver down our spine, pricking deep, a hypothermic chill. It approaches us as we approach the end. It can't get worse. It can get worse. It suffocates us. The smoke surrounds us, ending our time as time races on, leaving us behind. The fire sears our flesh, destroys our bones, leaving nothing behind. Nothing to remember us by. Nothing to tell our tale. Nothing to tell our tale of how we started and ended it all. Curtain.
Inspersion.
10! Woo! 10!
Vortices, please. Well, you're stronger than I am.
Wow, that was a lot, guys.
Almost like we could use a spiritual journey. So what's the deal with airplane food?
It's the spirit.
Hannah, let it die.
Oh, the
projector's so warm.
Alright, we're ready.
Inspiration. Go. Stop talking. Welcome to your spiritual journey. You're gonna come with me and relax. I'm pretending to be a spiritual guide right now. So everybody take a deep breath. I'm going to show you an inspirational poster, maybe some that have been previously written or some that I've made up. And you're gonna respond with, I believe this. Ready?
Yes.
Let's try it.
I believe this!
Don't you feel good?
Oh, yeah.
Real nice.
You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think.
I believe this!
Cry.
I believe this!
Cattywampus.
I believe this!
She's broken because she believed. He's okay because he lied.
I believe this!
It'll probably get worse.
I believe this!
Gagapalooza or whatever RuPaul said.
I believe this!
I eat kids.
I believe this!
I got hot sauce in my bag, swag Beyonce Knowles.
I believe this!
Walmart, do they make walls there? Actual quote by Paris Hilton.
I believe this!
Owen Wilson.
I believe this!
I have a sad story too. No one cares. Work harder.
I believe this!
Prison recidivism, bad.
I believe this!
According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. Anyway, because bees do not care what humans think is impossible.
I believe this!
I heard you kiss Louis. He finally says. You look down. No, Harry. He kissed me.
I believe this!
You may be thinking,
I believe this!
don't!
I believe this!
Spaghetti.
I believe this!
She's the luckiest girl. He's Luigi.
I believe this!
Thank you for taking this journey with me. I hope you all had a wonderful time. I hope that you leave with more wellness than you came. Curtain. Yes. Bring it up.
1, 2, left, right.
All right.
That mic does not work. It is broken.
Get out. Can you guys leave?
I want to go home.
Get out!
Like, get out. Like, leave.
I'm sorry to go.